Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Andrews, and it is Friday, and which means it's Voice Chat Friday with Shyamala Prayaga, who is the CEO and founder of the Digital Assistant Academy, focused on getting the next generation of conversational AI designers ready for the job market. And along with Shyamala, good morning, Shyamala.
Good morning, Lee. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you today?
Doing great, all pumped.
Good. And with us is one of her students, and his name is Adam Wollicott. And Adam is just about, like 95% way through the program. So he's looking for jobs, and he's starting to apply for jobs. So today we're actually going to take one of the jobs that he is considering applying to and talk through what you should be considering before you apply to that job and ways that you can apply to that job. This is really all about evaluating the job description. On another broadcast, maybe even next week, we may have Adam back again to talk about how to prepare him for the interview once that interview comes through. Now, we've got some interesting things to reveal today regarding this particular position. This is a very high profile company in the space of AI. And it is 247.ai. So they are dedicated to artificial intelligence and the expansion of the capability within that domain. So this is not a small company, and this is a high stakes opportunity for Adam to showcase his work. Would you say that's an accurate description, Shyamala?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start with the beginning. So I'm always going to take the role of the recruiter because, that's kind of what I've been doing for the past few decades. And Adam is that job seeker. Shyamala is going to be that mentor and coach that Adam has had. So Adam, when we look at this job, when you see that over the past 2 weeks that there have been 16 applicants, what does that tell you?
I'd say that it's they're looking for sort of high-end people for the job, and I'd say there's they're looking at for a certain amount or a certain person for the actual role itself. So the actual for 2 weeks, 16 applicants could be like not many, but so they're looking for the right person.
Shyamala, what do you think about 16 applicants applying to this job?
So, first thing I would say is 16 applicants in 2 weeks. So, yes, there's active conversational designers out there looking for opportunities, right? That's what I would say. The other thing, what comes to my mind is number should not scare someone who's applying because, well, like Adam mentioned, there are 16 applicants and still the job is open, and that means like either some of them are through the process or they've just applied and did not get through the process, so there's still an opportunity. But definitely that also means that if you look at other roles out there, you would see within 2 weeks 200, 300, 500 applications, but 16 says that it's not that much, which means like there are scarcities of conversational designers out there, and
Bingo.
that's an opportunity.
That's it. That is what I want to stress to anybody who is graduating or anybody who is considering making a transition into this space. This is not a lot of applicants. As a recruiter, this keeps me up at night. Without enough applicants, because 50% off the bat, most applicants will not qualify, just right off the bat. So now you're looking at 8 applicants. Of those 8, maybe 1, if we're lucky, makes it. So I encourage you, and I agree still with Shyamala, what Shyamala said, even if there's over 200 applicants, get your name in there as quickly as you can, because 50% of those applicants will not qualify. When I post jobs, I'm telling you right now, Adam, I get everything from laborers, and there's nothing wrong with laborers. I get bartenders, people who are trying to make a transition from the hospitality industry into conversational voice AI design with absolutely no training and experience. Those people are applying for those jobs. So, God bless them for giving it a shot. but it also doesn't do them any services, doesn't do them any favors by doing that. So we've got to be careful about that. So that's number one. This is a low number. Apply. Okay, so let's take a closer look. And before we get into the job description, I do want to acknowledge that Shyamala has got her hackathon happening right now. What's going on with that, Shyamala? How many participants actually showed up, and where are you guys in that?
Yeah, so 120 signed up, but only 22 showed up, and which is like 5 or 6 groups in total. And they've been hacking the whole night, and they've been up the whole night, and I love the dedication and motivation they've been showing so far. We created multiple breakout rooms, and I've been hopping in and out of those breakout rooms just to see if they need any technical support. The team is all pumped, having a lot of fun, and that's what I need.
Excellent. So maybe we can have them on next Friday's call. Maybe have a handful of them on for next Friday's call. Ask them. See if we can get 3 people to join us next Friday. That would be very cool. All right. And back to the job description, Adam. So they're looking for a conversational designer. So let's think this through. One of the things that as a candidate you want to do, obviously, once you get past this part of seeing what they're looking for, you want to take a look at some of the qualifications. So Adam, do you have a degree in HCI, application design, or computer science?
No, my degree's in sound and music technology, which I guess could go into partly computer science, but not on the actual job description.
So what this tells me is that, like Shyamala has been saying all along, that user experience is part of understanding how to create good conversational AI. So it's great to have that understanding, which you get in the Digital Assistant Academy. You get a lot of research and application and testing and all that kind of good stuff. So now let's take a look. We're not going to even look at the job responsibilities right now, because you have to make a decision as quickly as a recruiter goes through a resume, which is about 10 seconds. You need to, as an applicant, you need to be able to evaluate. Oh, there's Delvine. Hold on. I see her. She's coming. Hold on. She's below the radar. Hi, Delvine. Good morning.
Hi. Sorry, I was backstage for a few minutes. I didn't know if you could see me.
I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. So everyone, this is Delvine. She is also a student of Digital Assistant Academy, and she's going to give her thoughts on this job description as well. So we were just talking about how quickly a recruiter goes through the resume. The candidate needs to be able to discern which job opportunities they're going to apply to. Remember, your time is as valuable as the recruiter's time. So you have to, spend your time wisely. So at the top of this resume or this job description, they're asking for a mid to senior level person. Industry that you're going to be supporting is the computer software industry, and engineering, which you do have sound engineering, and information technology. But down here, 2 to 3 years of experience and mid to senior level. Does that jive for you guys? What do you think about that?
I'd say, well, I've got the 2 to 3 years of professional experience as a sort of a sound designer, designing sort of experiences and for social content. So I guess I've got that the years of professional experience in my background.
What are the 2 words that tell me that you do? There's only 2 words in here that say yes. Keep going in that first sentence.
Designer.
Similar field. When they're asking for something that is a similar field as these areas, you would qualify for that. And so that is one thing that as a candidate, you want to highlight. So somewhere in your resume or whatever platform they ask you to submit, you want to highlight the fact that and make it big and bold that you are a sound voice engineer with this new digital assistant academy training. All right, let's look at qualification number 2. Additional experience in HCI design, multimodal, digital voice interfaces, a bonus. Delvine, Adam. What do you think about this? Does he qualify in that level?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think when you look at the voice element, voice interfaces. I'd also say the interaction design. Obviously multi-model is something we're still working on and learning about, but I would say voice for sure. He's got the experience, so he would definitely qualify for the second one, I'd say.
As a potential hiring manager, Shyamala, 1 and 2, would Adam qualify for those first two?
Yeah, I would say, because you highlighted the similar field. So I would definitely be looking for something. If you don't have the relevant experience, do you have something similar which can still qualify you? So yes, and additional experience in human computer interaction, given the curriculum talks about all of these things, teaches how to do the research. Human computer interaction is all about the research, design, interactions, thinking about the human centered approach, which the curriculum is already teaching, and plus the multimodal design, which you are thinking about through your different skills and actions. I think definitely you do qualify.
I would agree. Let's take a look at number 3 and 4. When we look at these two together, we're talking about user experience design using analytics and working understanding of speech and language technologies, and experience working as a team, working with engineering, marketing, product. Adam, do you think you qualify on numbers 3 and 4?
Yes, I'd say for the first one, I'd say throughout the course, we've gone through the whole whole process, including sort of learning and understanding the speech technologies. So I've written a sort of research paper, or both me and Dalveen have written research papers going into sort of understanding and benchmarking the speech technologies. So we understand the broader scope, not just the design aspect as well, which is good. I'd say for point number 4, experience working with cross teams. For me, I'd say yes, because my previous roles, I've worked with different departments to create various different content, such as marketing, IT, finance, everything like that. So I guess it's important to show that team ethic and that you have worked within a team.
That's right. Yep, I don't think that one needs any further explanation. Experience working on projects from inception to shipping. This might throw some people off. What do you think about that, Dalveen?
I would like to interject first.
Yes, ma'am.
So 3 capstone projects from inception to deployment, which Adam already have deployed the Google action and has deployed a chatbot. Dalveen has also done that. So it doesn't mean that your product should be something which is used by millions of customers. Even if it is a small skill or action which you have created and people are able to use it and you are able to show it on a physical device in production, I feel like it works.
Okay. I don't think there's anything further to say about that, except for one thing. The shipping products will throw some candidates off. So when we talk about shipping in the technology world, if it's not hardware, they're talking about the deployment of a software solution. So don't let that throw you. If you have questions about that, ask somebody. Experience presenting and advising senior management. This is a biggie. Now, first of all, why would they put that as a qualification in this job description that has 2 to 3 years experience, but yet they're calling it mid to senior level? Why would they put that in there?
So what I would say is a couple of things here. One thing is that voice is pretty new at this point, and I would say like in voice so I would say like in voice basically there are too many things. So I'm distracted because hackathon is happening in parallel. So so what I was saying is voice is pretty new, and it's not as like 10 years, 20 years. So 2 or 3 years in voice is same as mid to senior for many companies. Maybe that's how they are considering it, and that is why I would say like that's the expectation. But I've seen like that's just a qualification which not underlined, which means like this is really required.
So here's where we need to be able to do some research. So Dalveen, what would you want to know about this company before you apply to it, given the fact that you're going to be working with senior management?
I think one of the things is something we discussed in the daily was about how ambiguous the role is. So I'd assume, based on this job description, there's probably quite a lot of ambiguity based on the fact that I might have to present, or I would be expected to present to to senior management. So that I'd probably have quite a big role to play, basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, I think I want to know, am I going to have to be quite proactive in this? Like, am I going to have a lot of sort of, there's not going to be as much sort of micromanagement, is what I'm trying to say. So as in, I'm just going to have to go out there and do things head on, with not maybe as much manager support.
Okay. So, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about ambiguity, right? The more ambiguous the job or the responsibilities, the higher the income, because people need to be able to come in and create process and tools and technologies and requirements with little direction. So that's a really good point that you need to clarify through the hiring process. But here's what you guys should be doing as candidates. If you're going to be talking to senior leadership, do a Glassdoor review. At the very least, you know that there are, for 24/7 AI, there are 33 open jobs. And the good news is that it looks like the CEO of 24/7 AI has a very high approval rating, which is not very common on Glassdoor. So there's something going for this. What I don't see are how many employees they have. So now, it doesn't mean that you are going to be reporting or presenting to PV Cannon. I'm not so sure how to pronounce that name, but you may be reporting to the senior leader of design, which is an SVP, or a divisional president, which is also a senior leader. So just be aware of that. Do some research on your end. I cannot stress this enough. You are the talent. You have the talent. You have the gift. You have the knowledge. You have the skills that companies want. Be selective. All right. Next
And
thing.
I would like to
Yes.
add, because number 6 is something I do day in and day out, and I see other designers in my team also doing that day in and day out. Right from presenting your and design review session is a good place, what we are doing, which is giving you the practice of presenting and getting feedback on your designs as well, right? So not only to the senior management, but also to your stakeholders, product management, or sometimes legal. And somewhere, it was written that you have to work with product management, engineering, marketing. So you might have to constantly present to the senior leadership from all these different teams throughout to convince them, or get aligned, or get agreement, and things like that. So I think the design review sessions which we are doing is a good place for you to start practicing these kind of things.
Excellent. And for just the sake of time, number 7, when we talk about the educational experience, again, Adam, you qualify or related field or equivalent experience. So you are meeting these qualifications. My concern about this entire job description is this 2 to 3 years being considered medium to senior level. That does not jive for me. So I would, as if I were working with this hiring manager, I would go back and say, can we just eliminate the 2 to 3 year requirement and tell us more about what you're actually looking for? And so here you have a bit more information. A typical day may start with a client to review available APIs, followed by a quick burst of designing flows by noon, analyzing data on one of the applications you've designed by the afternoon, and reviewing a team of internal stakeholders through a prototype of another design you completed by evening. So what does this tell me that your day is going to be like, man? Adam?
I'd say, yeah, I guess it's showing that you'll be doing a number of different things, not just focus on one thing. You'll be obviously kind of speaking with clients, as long with the designing aspect as well. And then just, we were talking about just a minute ago about obviously presenting and stuff. So you'll be doing a wide selection of things, like even in just one day. So it's not just pigeonholing you in just one aspect. You'll be doing sort of a different variety of activities.
So I'm going to plant the seed into everybody's thoughts today. 80% of people who don't succeed at the job has nothing to do with their ability to do the job or their willingness to do the job. It is that they don't fit into the environment or the culture or how the work is getting done. It is absolutely imperative that as candidates, you learn to ask the right questions, which we're going to talk about on another broadcast, maybe even next week or the week after, depending upon when the Hackabot people revive. We're going to talk about what questions to ask as a candidate and how to reveal the fit of an organization. This tells me that it's going to be a very busy day, that you've got to be able to prioritize, you've got to be able to work through competing priorities, and you've got to be able to work across an organization with individuals with all kinds of personalities, with all levels of stakeholder requirements and mandates and fears and all this other kind of stuff. And more importantly, it's this section, owning and making decisions. You cannot walk into this job thinking that you're going to be told what to do. When they hire you, they want you to hit the ground running. So knowing that, now how comfortable would you feel, Delvine or Adam, applying to that job? There's not going to be a lot of hand-holding. Uh-huh.
I'd say you've got to be confident in your own abilities. And ensure that you're ready for the position and for the actual job. And by obviously speaking, if you get through to the interview process, is asking these sort of questions and sort of finding out how much do you need to know, what sort of starting process will it be? Will you be thrown in the deep end, or will there be a rolling in stage? So I guess for me as a candidate, those are the sort of things I'll be wanting to find out within the interview stage.
So I'm going to share with you what my first boss, the boss who hired me into the UX practice, his name is Jason Brownywell. He actually, after he left the company that we both worked at, he went to stand up a 75-person UX capability. And then, of course, we worked on a different level together. So what do you think his number one complaint was with user experience talent? What do you think his number one complaint was? Just guess. Delvine?
They don't want to own the experience, or they don't want to work in that collaborative experience?
You're close. You're close. You're very close.
Or they are intimidated making decisions?
You're so close.
Okay, this looks like a quiz to me.
That could be it, but no, most people can do that, right? So the UX designers, they can make decisions and they can, solve problems. What his biggest complaint was, they think too much. They don't get enough done. They spend too much time contemplating, what happens when, right? We need to get through this work. So this is the contradiction when you go into these types of roles. How much time do you really have to think? So you've got to be, when you're looking at this typical day, combined with making and owning those decisions, that's why they're saying mid to senior level. And I think the contradiction between the 2 to 3 years is, you guys coming right out of school can do that if you have this natural ability to synthesize data quickly and come up with a solution and juggle multiple competing priorities. It's a big job. This is a big job. Yeah. And if you're talking to the person who heads up this design team, this capability, who Shyamala knows, she knows what she's doing. So there's not going to be a lot of hand-holding on this. Now, how do you feel about applying to this job? I am here. So that is my job. A good recruiter will give you reasons to apply for a job, but they will also challenge you to make sure that you have the confidence to sit in front of these hiring managers and say, yes, I can do this. And let me share with you why I know that, given your past performance. So Adam, what do you think now?
Oh, well, that's the thing. That's all part of this. That's why we're in this course. We're learning all about the sort of the technical skills, but also the soft skills as well. So that's by the end of this course, I feel like I'll be prepared
Nice.
to apply for this job.
Delvine, what about you? Would you apply for this job? Of course, you're not in the same country, but that's okay. This theoretically speaking.
I think at the moment, I wouldn't, just because I'm still learning and there's still things I want to learn on the course of Shyamala. There's still things I just want to do before that. I think, especially if you're basically going to be put into a situation where you're just going to have to literally just start and go without much support, I don't think I would be comfortable right now. At the moment, maybe in a couple of months is different, but right now I probably wouldn't.
And I love that. Delvine, I absolutely love that. And that's exactly, this is how you decide which job to apply for. We have just about 4 minutes left. So Delvine, I actually want to stay on that thought. If you were to apply for a job today, what kind of job would you apply to?
I would apply for a job that would be entry level. So I would love to work with maybe like a head of conversation design or conversation design. I don't know what roles they are now. Is it director or head or something like that? Just before senior management. I wouldn't want to jump straight. I mean, a startup is different. Well, some startups expect you to, be your own person. You're the only one that's covering or leading the whole design team. But if they was to say, we can provide you support, we don't expect you to know everything. If they were being very flexible and open with it, I think I would be open to something like that. But in an ideal world, I think it would be great to work under like a head of conversation, someone with experience that I can learn from basically, and that I can work together with. I think would be great.
Brilliant. Brilliant. You're going to do well. So you're now at the same time, Delvine, I will push you a little bit to have you consider positions that you might not consider. And we will go through why that is, why I would have you do that and how to position yourself. So I think that this topic is actually going to transition into 3 separate calls. So maybe next week we get on the call and we talk about how to actually apply for this job, how you're going to apply for this job, but does it really end once you apply for the job? No, it does not. I will, spoiler alert, it does not end there. There are things that you need to do after you submit your application. So we're going to talk about that next week, Delvine, and or Adam, if you both or one of you can join next week, that would be great. The original time, 8 o'clock. And then the following week, we'll talk about interview questions. So we are just fortunate enough to have, that senior solutions person in this group today, and that's Shyamala. So you've got really solid coaching here and mentorship. So we'll talk about what questions to ask and how to prepare for that interview when those interviews come through. Shyamala, I do want to turn it back to you. We've got a couple of minutes left. Closing thoughts for candidates out there looking for their first gig in conversational AI.
I would say have the growth mindset, first of all. Okay, because that is really important. If you look at a job description with a fixed mindset, like, okay, these are the things, I cannot do it. Maybe you are not ready for that, but you will not know if you're ready for that or not until you actually try it out. And when you are looking at this, for example, a typical day, and you have to be a self-starter, look at, am I not doing that self-starter thing with the course? Well, how much ambiguity is there in the course? I'm just giving you very high level information. I'm not spoon feeding you, not giving you everything in a platter, like these are the steps, just follow it. So you're already doing a lot of things. So other person out there will also be doing something like that in their current job somewhere. Just try to see those things and see, is it not something which I'm doing which is very close to this responsibility which is expected out of me, and then try to just take risk. That is what I would say.
And Adam and Delvine, that is what Shyamala and I are here to make sure that you do. Take a risk, but we will give you a more calculated risk. We won't put you in harm's way. So, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, thank you so much for joining us on very early Voice Chat Friday. Next week, can we get Delvine and or Adam back to talk about applying for the job? That'll be at 8 o'clock in the morning. This will be a great series for those who are new to this domain on how to actually, in fact, even if you're slightly used, this is still helpful information. All right. Thank you all. Have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.